And John Friedman, there he is. 5 concerns you have about the Facebook IPO. Not one of them is that Mark Zuckerberg will be too rich, because I don't think that will happen. I think he'll be very rich. But let's kick off. Can the Zuck effectively lead a public company of this size? That's your first question.
It's a fair question. Look at Steve Jobs in the 80s Apple. He had his problems along the way. I mean, Zuckerberg is the most hyped, ballyhooed 27-year-old who has ever lived, probably except for Michael Jordan. But look at it. Can he run the company? That's what we want to know. Is he capable of running this company?
He's been running it so far.
So far. But public company, things change in a public company. Stockholders get nervous. Wall Street gets anxious. Things can change.
Yeah, every time they do the privacy freak out, then the stock will fall as opposed to just 100,000 blog posts about it.
And Julia working through the night on the stories about it, which is what happens. But that, I mean, they have had a number of publicity black eyes over the last few years, and they really are black eyes. They're not just scrapes. Does that suggest that, you know, that he is maybe not the person to be in charge of this company? Great, he founded it. You can be the founder. You can be rich. But are you the person? Is Mark Zuckerberg? You know, I know you're watching, Mark. Are you the person to be making the trains run on time, or does it need somebody else? What do you think?
Mark, no offense, but look, there are entrepreneurs, visionaries, and there are CEOs. Can you manage a company for Wall Street? That's the key question. Will Wall Street approve of Mark Zuckerberg over the short and long terms?
So here's my point to you, John, over the years that I've been writing about technology, is that most of the time these companies go out for their IPO with the founder, right? Bill Gates, you know, I can't remember his name from Netscape, but Mark Andreessen.
Right, of course.
Right.
We know him well.
And they often bring in an adult supervisor, but they're still there. And Sheryl Sandberg is sort of the adult supervisor, right, at Facebook. And so this follows, so far, what we're seeing is actually pretty much the standard Silicon Valley model. Founder's still there for the IPO. They have a nominal adult around, and the role of the adults will increase post-IPO, right? I mean, that's how I would predict it.
You certainly hope so.
And so layering out, that's what you predict. Mark Zuckerberg, lay it out, put in some sort of ivory tower.
Right,
Slowly,
I mean,
maybe
it's possible
quickly.
they need a few more adults.
We don't really know. Nobody really knows yet. We're going to find out down the road. But I'm playing devil's advocate. But I think it's a fair question of Mark Zuckerberg being the leader of a public company. So far, he's been phenomenal as the leader of Facebook, but now the pressure increases.
And one of the things, if we look back to Bubble 1.0, Tech Bubble 1.0, there were, I thought we had learned our lesson about having CEOs who were 23 and didn't have the experience. And it takes a lot of experience to run a large, multinational company with lots of different business units, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. But, you know, also we've had a bunch of tech IPOs that have been pretty successful so far with youngish CEOs.
Nothing on the scale of
Nothing on the 100 billion scale. But I would just point out that Larry Page is CEO of Google, founder of Google, right? And 10, 15 years after founding it, he's still running it. And for a long time, he had an adult, Eric Schmidt, run as CEO, and then he actually sort of felt like he'd grown into the role.
Do you think that Mark needs an adult helping him out here, down the road, or right now?
Oh, I mean, absolutely he does. And he brought in Sheryl for that reason. And, you know, you could probably argue that, like, they might need, like, 2 more adults.
Are you available?
I mean, I know that
Simon's available.
I know that they're looking for us.
We know they're watching, that's for sure. Okay, where's the growth going to come from? That's your next question. They've grown very, very well. 800 million people now have Facebook's accounts.
We both know Wall Street loves one thing, growth. Steady, constant, consistent growth. They don't want to see ups and downs. They want to see straight up. 800 million people so far. Where's the rest? Where's the rest of the Facebook population coming from? So it's another fair question, I believe.
Does the growth need to come from population of users, or does it need to come from revenue? What do you think, Julie? Does Wall Street care?
So, you know, basically, Wall Street is actually very susceptible to being told what to care about. So when AOL was growing and it wanted to be like members and new members was the metric, and for now Facebook has been using members as the metric, then people have fallen for that as the growth story. However, almost all companies eventually shift from that growth story to the profit growth story. And you could argue
and then
that,
the dividends story.
right, and then
where's my dividends? Where's my
right,
dividends?
right, exactly. This is like natural progression of stories that you tell Wall Street. So Facebook is probably like right at the top of that member story, and it's probably like one could argue they should have probably gone public a year or two earlier when they still had that straight up membership growth story. On the other hand, they didn't have the profit story.
Mark, call this woman. She knows her stuff. She can help you.
So what about the competitors? Tell us about that.
Well, you have Google Plus in the past year, had a big splash. Lately, not so much talk about Google Plus, but Google Plus showed what you can do with a big name and a big member base too.
So wait, Google Plus, you're saying is a growth?
It can be a threat to Facebook at some point, or still to somebody else. Or you have another company like Google coming forth with social networking.
Yep.
It happened. So another company, MySpace, got
I know, I've heard
rumbled.
about
You
that
wrote a book about that.
You know that well.
And
Yes.
that
Although
was a
Google
sad story.
Plus is, some people have been referring to it recently as a ghost town.
Yeah.